This is the Patriots Prayer Podcast. It's a tremendous show, one of the greatest shows in the history of the world.
This is Bryson Gray, and you are watching the Patriots Prayer.
PPN, you're doing the right thing.
On the Patriots Prayer Network. Thank you all.
PPN on your bumper.
I'm Tom McDonald. This is the Patriot Prayers Network. Check it out. Lots of good TV. Lots of cool people. Tune in. Keep it locked.
I'm the white boy with the middle fingers in the air, dog. We don't give a what. 100 white boys gonna hold me down anywhere, dog. We think that you suck. My Patriots the craziest. They ain't afraid of breaking fists on faces. If you really wanna taste of this, no safety tip. The same mistake and spray the clip. I pray you miss, cause if you don't, they gon' go wacko. Automatic gun smoke like tobacco. Never hit a lady, but it's pretty hard to tell if you're a girl or a they, them. There's these, that, those. I ain't never gonna take a knee for the anthem. Smack them. I don't give a damn, can't stand them. Gang full of randoms. Fan with a handgun. Run up in your mansion, leave it all abandoned. I was raised to be brave to the grave. United States, we love the country that they've been corrupting. Go woke and go broker if you ain't obeyed. My people love this country and we're under attack. They banning us, they cancel us for speaking the facts. If you man enough, come stand with us, take USA back. And every time we pull up, all you're gonna see is American flags. American flags.
My fellow Americans, I come to you today with great sorrow in my heart. We lost an incredible cultural leader today, not just for Americans, but for people all around the world who followed his lead. Charlie Kirk was assassinated today while attempting to reach across the aisle, as he usually did at a college in Utah. He was gunned down by, well, I guess we don't know who yet. For years, conservatives have been saying that they want to kill us. And they've tried to assassinate our character. They've doxed us. They've swatted us. Almost everybody in this panel today has been either doxed or swatted. They've definitely had their character assassinated. And today, Charlie Kirk paid a price for trying to reach his hand out. His weapon of choice for this spiritual battle we are currently in was a microphone. He chose to try and reach the humanity and those who disagreed and our youth, so the next generation coming up would be armed with truth and undeniable facts that our leaders, our political leadership, the mainstream media refuse to acknowledge. We can rest in some kind of peace knowing that he lies with Jesus tonight, in his arms, hopefully peacefully, and we can send prayers out to his wife and 2 children that he left behind. And just know that this wasn't just an attack on Charlie Kirk. This was an attack and a shot heard round the world on conservatives. That if you try and speak to the people who are uninformed or who are naive, who don't know of the truth, they will come after you and they will end your life. Tonight we have a special episode. It's not just the Cowboys and Indians podcast, but it includes a couple other people from the Patriots Prayer Network, including the co-founder Eddie Smith, including Glenn Baker, who is championing right now, Finish the Fight. And of course, my co-host on the Cowboys and Indians podcast, Steve Loves Ammo. But you guys can just call him Steve. Thank you guys for joining tonight. It has been a rough day and very odd day trying to withhold my visceral anger that I feel and the lack of just complete empathy that I feel towards people celebrating this horrific act of violence. But how are you guys doing today?
Brother, I'll go first. I'm sitting here just about in tears. Never met the man, not to chat with him, but we have a lot of common friends. But I'm just absolutely disgusted and blown away with not just his assassination, Maurice, but the assassination of what he stood for. And what he stood for was Christian and biblical values, America first. It's not a freaking cuss word to say America first. We live here. We grew up here. We should put ourselves first, just like any other country would do. For him standing for rights, and somebody took him out, man. And I feel like they took out my buddy. I didn't even know him.
I think a lot of Americans share that same sentiment tonight. Eddie, how about you?
I was driving. I was going from one job site to another, and I had this text message from another friend of ours that said, "Did you know Charlie Kirk just got shot?" And this was within maybe 5 or 10 minutes of the announcement. And I said no, and I went on X immediately. You saw the posts, and brother, I pulled over, and I couldn't help it. I mean, just tears just welled up in my eyes, whether it was anger, a lot of emotions, and it's still in my stomach. A lot of the pictures you guys saw in the intro, me and Maurice coming into this thing were at Charlie Kirk's event. We did have the pleasure of being in the same room and briefly chatted with him in the hallway on his way to the restroom after the Kristi Noem interview. That was about it. And man, it was an experience, and he at least, he fought the good fight, and he respected everyone. Didn't matter what they believed or what side of an issue they were on. He gave everybody the right to speak their minds, and he didn't fight with fists. He used his words. He used ideas, and these leftists, they took a different approach. They can't beat you with words, and they can't dox you and swat you out of existence. This is what they do. And it's evil. And until we're willing to say it's evil, until we're willing to call out their ideology as a whole, the same as we call out the Nazis as evil, and we keep trying to compromise with them, it's going to keep happening.
I think you're absolutely right. And I think that a lot of Americans woke up to that today, and they realized that this isn't just complacency in winning political elections, that the forces that we face, the forces that we speak against are evil, and they want you dead. Steve, how are you doing today, buddy? You're muted, by the way, Steve.
Of course. Boomer alert. Man, it's been kind of a whirlwind of emotions this entire week with Ernia Katuska that was killed on the train, brutally murdered, and then today to see the footage of Charlie. I think America is at a precipice right now, where it's a biblical battle between good and evil, and there are a lot of good people that are wanting to right the wrongs. Because, so you mentioned earlier that the majority of the panel here was either doxxed or swatted. And I've been trying to wrap my head around exactly what happened, over the last 48 hours. And it's been difficult because there are times where I'm angry. There are times when I'm extremely sad. For Charlie's situation, I think the most important thing right now is just to be there and understand that his family, his wife, and his 2 children are probably having the worst reactions right now. And we have to understand or put ourselves and mourn that they are going through the worst time of their life right now. But at the same time, we also cannot be silenced. Whenever I was swatted, I had a shotgun that was racked in my face by a sheriff's deputy. And I knew in that moment what was going on, and I knew what our voices do. We are in the fight to bring down evil. and we are all doing this collectively, Charlie would not want us to be silenced. He would want us to continue. And I think that is what we need to do. We need to continue pushing this message, use that anger, rage, frustration, whatever, and use that to fuel you, to motivate you, to take down these evil motherfuckers. Because I am absolutely sick and tired of the state of our country right now. We have these politicians that are out there dividing our country between race, or a president of the United States saying half of this country is garbage or fascist. These are the people that need to be held accountable. And that's why people are so frustrated, because these DAs, these judges are letting all of these people off on cashless bail, and they're going out there and they're hurting more and more people. So there needs to be a radical change. And I'm hoping, praying that what had happened to Charlie does not go in vain, and we actually change this country for the better.
Agreed. They just announced that they got the shooter. I'm reading it right now. It's he's in custody. And then when I went over after I read this on X, this says his name is Samson McHyde, which is the one that we're looking at with Glenn earlier. Yeah. So that's what we know right now. They say they got him.
You know what? I guess I'm a little relieved that the shooter was got, but the problem is that I guess it's the elephant in the room. How many people celebrated his death today? How many people decided to hop on TikTok and other various forms of social media to celebrate his death? And we saw this after the attempted assassination of Trump. And, you know, for someone, Trump has the highest security, the best security that you can have. And throughout history, we kind of know that assassination attempts on controversial presidents or presidential nominees are possible. So we all had an idea that this was possible. I never would have thought that Charlie Kirk would have been assassinated at a college in the way that he was. And I mean, everybody has seen, if you have been on X for a while, you've seen people die. But this, and it being somebody who I know who is one of the most generous people, and I mean, literally invited us out, Eddie and I out last year to Detroit at a TP USA event, paid for everything, was one of the most accommodating people and generous that in this industry, it takes a lot of money to do anything. And I personally, I don't make a lot of money, right? I go to work, I change tires for a living. And he invited us out there. He paid for everything. Eddie and I were VIPs there. We were treated way better than I had ever been treated in my entire life. I felt almost like an imposter. And the way that they took him out for using a microphone to try and reach across the aisle to people who disagree with him is just...
That's the shooter.
That's him?
That's the shooter.
Oh.
I saw earlier today the post that this guy had made. And I don't have many words for this. It's just a lot of anger brewing up, but
sorry.
You're not the only one, brother. Like people are just it's enough is enough. When does this change? Honestly.
When we change it.
What we're seeing right now, guys, is a manifestation of spiritual. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. And so the stuff that you're seeing, Maurice, it's evil. The word itself says we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers of darkness. And this is for real, a manifestation of the spiritual battle that's taking place around us.
I sure would like to get, sorry.
It cost a 31-year-old man his life today. But God can use that as well to open up the eyes of people to say, oh my God, it is real. We can see some great things come out of this. And that's really weird. Probably, Glenn, why are you saying something like that right now? But God will take the pain and turn it into something good if we trust him and allow him. And I'm living experience of that. Y'all know my story.
I have to agree with Shannon. He was shot as soon as he was asked the question about transgenderism. As soon as the question was asked, that's when the shot was fired.
Mm-hmm.
Who put that out that was the shooter?
Unwoke media.
I just put a comment underneath and I said,
but it's on the regular news as well.
Oh, is it? Okay. I was just waiting for a statement from Kash Patel because he's been.
Yeah, I was listening to Laura Ingram.
No, the last thing that I see from Kash is the subject in custody has been released after an interrogation by law enforcement. Our investigation continues.
Yeah, Laura Ingram was live and said they released the one shooter, which was the older guy, but Kash Patel has said that they have the actual shooter, and that was on Fox News as I was pulling up to the house just a few minutes ago.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the latest I got from Kash was the person of interest that they had was interrogated and released. Yeah.
All true.
You know, all true. This kind of reveals the deep systemic issues. Like this is a culmination of the rhetoric over the past couple of years, the political rhetoric that we've been seeing, and the desperate plea from people on the right to be peaceful and try and convey humanity to these people, that the media and the politicians on the left have been dehumanizing conservatives as a whole, and any indoctrinated transgender or gay or leftist, any of the LGBTQ community, right? They have been indoctrinated into believing that conservative lives don't matter. And they celebrate things like this. They celebrated swottings. They celebrated Trump getting shot. They celebrated when cities were being burned down for 100 days straight in riots during 2020, during the George Floyd riots. They were celebrating when dozens of innocents ended up dead, including someone like David Dorn, who spent his life as a police officer and then retired only to become a security guard for a pawn shop to get shot in the chest in cold blood. And he was black. But Black Lives Matter did not care. The entirety of the left forgot his name immediately. And I don't even know if he was conservative, but he was just another blip for their quest for social justice. And it is sickening to me because they excuse all of this evil in the name of this idea of social justice. And I am sick and tired of this fake woke bullshit that they've been shoving down our throats, where they will say one thing and do another. I was taught that actions speak louder than words, and all of the actions that I've seen out of the left have been demonic. They've been targeting children. They've been sterilizing children. They've been attempting to assassinate people, and today they were successful. And I'm sick of pretending that they want anything other than death and destruction.
Yeah. As you can see right here is the FBI statement. Suspect responsible for the shooting of the conservative commentator Charlie Kirk has been captured. The incident occurred at the Q&A session at Utah University where Kirk was speaking. The FBI investigation is ongoing, and they will release more information as in the interest of transparency. And then Kash Patel said that they released the other guy from custody who they thought was the shooter, who wasn't. So there's your confirmation. They do have the shooter.
But we don't have the judges. We don't have the prosecutors that let these people out. You know, I mean, how long before another innocent gets killed in a subway or a train or a bus just because they're white or just because they're conservative? how long before that happens? Because Democrats haven't just been soft on crime. They've been intentionally allowing monsters back on the street. And that way they could claim that they're doing everything in their power to help the mentally ill, but also give us more power and give us more tax dollars, because we can help. As long as we continue these mental health institutions where we just funnel money through and ship the killers and the rapists and the pedophiles back on the streets, we can keep doing this. And I'm tired of saying that they're soft on crime. They're not soft on crime. They're intentionally making more crime happen by releasing these killers so they get more power. It's sickening. And then they have the entire propaganda apparatus set up throughout all of these mainstream media outlets to convince the uninformed, to convince the people who are passively observing the news that they're doing as much as they can. It's a fucking lie.
Yes, and if you guys have that video, someone, oh my gosh, I have to go up. We have a bunch of comments. When the House was trying to have a moment of prayer for Charlie Kirk and the recruits, that right there tells you exactly what they're trying to do. I'm so angry, guys. I'm trying not to curse. Are we on cue tonight?
we're live on cue right now, guys. Okay,
well, I dropped the MF bomb earlier, and I apologize, but
they understand. Trust me.
Yeah, this is what they do, and this is how. Even though there was a tragedy, they're still dividing. I'll let you play it. I'm going to mute my mic right now.
The chair would ask that all members present in the chamber and those in the gallery please rise for a moment of prayer for Charlie Kirk and his family.
Is there sound down or something?
What purpose does the gentlelady from Colorado rise?
You can barely hear it, but she's asking for somebody to lead a prayer. Maybe there's a different video that has a better part of what she's saying, but I believe it was Lauren Boebert who was asking for somebody to lead a prayer. And you can I have it turned up as much as I can, but we'll let it finish.
Let's wait a minute. The House will be in order. The House will be in order. The House will be in order.
So that's basically it. What happened was she asked for prayer, and the demons are okay with silence. But as soon as prayer was asked for, they spoke up, and they object to it. They feared the name Jesus Christ entering their place of corruption.
That's 100% it. That is 100%
I think the lefts would have called it spontaneously combusted if they said Jesus' name in the House. But
you're right. I think Charlie Kirk answered this himself. I mean, he was in a Q&A session. I remember it very plainly. I think I have it right here.
It's on common law. Because the Declaration only refers to God 4 times in the Constitution. It doesn't refer to God at all. And it only articulates the structure of government.
So first of all, remember that we were a collection of states and colonies, and you need to read the state constitutions before anything else. 13 out of 13 required a declaration of faith. In almost every single one of the original state constitutions, they had, I profess Lord and Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior. Secondly, 55 out of 56 of the original signers of the Declaration were Bible-believing, church-attending Christians. You asked about common law. Well, let's go to 3 principles of common law. presumption of innocence, due process, and jury of your peers. All three are biblical principles. So, and all wrapped into the ultimate biblical principle that you shall not favor justice if you are rich or poor, which is in Leviticus 19, which is the idea of blind justice, which is incorporated also in the New Testament ideal, neither slave nor Greek nor Jew, you are all one in Jesus Christ, which you get the idea of human equality. These are all biblical ideas, but more importantly than that, they say that God was only mentioned 4 times in the Declaration of Independence. Well, that's a big deal. John Adams famously said the Constitution was only written for a moral and religious people. It was wholly inadequate for the people of any other. The body politic of America was so Christian that our form and structure of government was built for the people that believed in Christ our Lord. One of the reasons we're living through a constitutional crisis is that we no longer have a Christian nation, but we have a Christian form of government, and they're incompatible. So you cannot have liberty if you do not have a Christian population.
He nailed it.
Man, and that comes back to everything that we're talking about right now. Maurice was just talking about, the LGBTQ and the Democrats that get all upset with us talking about God. Here's the thing: we've been coddled to say, if it feels good, do it. That started in the 60s. I'm older than you guys. I was born in 67. So I remember hearing that in the 70s, even. If it feels good, do it. And what the Democrats and the devil himself does
Anton LaVey preached it.
Yeah, he coddles and pushes our feelings. Well, I feel like I'm a girl, then it must be true, and you should celebrate me because I feel like a girl, and I'm going to just go out and feel lovely. I feel like this. I feel like that. And I'm going to tell you right now, man, and Charlie got it right. We are no longer a Christian nation based on biblical values, and that has crossed over into everyday life, where demonic stuff is celebrated. Have you seen what mainstream music looks like in concert recently? It's satanic events taking place with 30 or 50,000 people around. And we wonder, why in the crap is it going to hell in a handbasket? Well, it's going to hell in a handbasket because we've turned away from the living God that this country was founded upon. And no, Glenn, it wasn't either. Yes, it was. And Charlie just proved it. It was founded upon biblical principles. It was founded on us being able to walk away from the Church of England and worship God according to biblical principles, not according to the crown. And we've walked away from that, man. And it is now to a point where the biggest majority of our country just feels like they're right, but there's no truth in it. It feels right, but there's no truth in it. And the truth hurts their feelings.
Just another clarification. FBI Director Kash Patel says subject in the shooting today is now in custody. The subject for the horrific shooting today that took the life of Charlie Kirk is now in custody. Thank you to local and state authorities in Utah for your partnership with the FBI. We will provide updates when able. So another confirmation. The shooter is in custody. The other guy's been released.
I'm not seeing that, Eddie. Like he's.
When was that posted? I mean, honestly, I would just not post anything more about that.
It was just
because we don't know. I mean, yeah, just
I heard Lauren
somebody.
Ingram. I heard Lauren Ingram say it live on Fox News. They released the one guy, but they have the actual shooter in custody when she was interviewing the guy that was in the front row.
Yeah, but there was they're going after a second shooter as well, not just one.
I haven't heard. I haven't heard a second shooter.
No, they released 2 people.
Oh, really?
Yes. The initial, the bald guy people were shouting, hey, this is the shooter. They released him. They brought someone else in to local PD, was interrogated, and they released him from custody.
Yeah. To be honest, Eddie, I would stray away from posting anything about them having the shooter, because in all reality, even if they think they do, it's going to take some time. So,
of course,
as far as I'm concerned, even if they did have the correct shooter, the people handling him they're not in prison. They're not in custody. So I as far as I'm concerned, even if they catch the guy, I still think that the enemies are still out there. And to all of my fellow conservatives who have been targeted by swattings in the past year, be on high alert, because in all reality, that wasn't just a failed attempt by them. You were put on a list. You are now a target. And it goes on for as long as you live in that area, or as long as you keep that phone number, or as long as they know about you, and as long as you keep speaking out, you are now on a list. So you better have every single precaution in place for you and your family, because it has just kicked up another notch.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Maurice. Anybody that's in this type of game is a target, regardless of if you've been doxxed or swatted. They're sending you a message that they are trying to come after you, and they will. So, like you were saying, Maurice, the best thing you can do right now, buy more guns and ammo. Don't let these gun control retards try to tell you any different. And I'm just gonna say, just protect yourself, any means necessary. And if that means I don't want to tell anybody to break the law, but like if you have protection, use it. It's better to get hit with a gun charge rather than wind up in a casket. That's all I'm gonna say.
It's legal to defend yourself. It's that simple.
And we also need to get people like this out permanently. And we can never allow these communists, these puppets, to get power again. Because this multimillionaire, Elizabeth Warren, who pretended to be a Native American, we refer to her as Pocahontas. The first thing that, I'll let you listen, because I only got through about 30 seconds of this video. So I would like you guys to see this as well. But this is her response to Charlie Kirk being shot and assassinated at one of the events where he was speaking to reach out across the aisle to our youth.
This is just wrong. And my heart goes out to his family, to his friends. But we just cannot be a country that turns to violence when we disagree. We just can't.
What can Congress do about it, Senator?
Well, one thing Congress can do is gun safety.
That's it. That's all I want to hear. Nope. Charlie Kirk had some of the best security that money can buy, and he wasn't even protected. And the first thing that she thinks about is taking our guns away? No. Take them from my cold, dead hands, because I ain't giving them up.
Absolutely. Dude, I mean, this is almost predictable, right? We knew what the response was going to be from these leftists. Have you seen that meme? I forgot what movie it comes from, but it's like that guy, and he's like dressed in like this, like he has a crown, and he's just like this. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Where it's like it's a meme template of that guy that's like this, and he's like,
oh yeah.
Okay, so this is what they're doing. They push and push and push this divisive rhetoric, and they say like, oh, the right wingers, they're fascist and all this other stuff. And then when something like this happens, they're like, oh, violence is not the answer. It's the same thing over and over again. And I'm just tired of it, guys, because give it another day. They're already pushing gun control, but then they're going to step it up again. It's what they do. They're communists.
Well, they're already making fun right now of Charlie being shot while he was standing for the Second Amendment. Second Amendment worked against him, didn't it? Yeah, that's pretty. Yeah, that'll make you want to throw up all over your computer.
You're the same dumbass people that go out there. I remember a few years ago in New York, one of them put an ad in the newspaper, full op-ed in the newspaper, and listed all the addresses of people who own guns in New York, and then hired armed security to protect herself. This is the thinking of the left. Yep. This is the ridiculousness.
This is a very good comment right here. Wish we could arm ourselves in Europe. We're facing a lot of stuff and threats, and we can't defend ourselves. Sorry for your loss.
Yep, that's incredibly unfortunate. Look, I'm okay. Washington State has some funny gun laws, right? You're not allowed to have a weapon in your house that is loaded without it being in a safe. Actually, even if it's in a safe, it's supposed to be separate from the ammo. Correct. So I got around that loophole, And so even when I'm at home, I'm in pajamas. It's on my hip 24/7. There's never a time where I don't have a gun on me.
They have the same laws in Maryland. Same thing. No self-defense law. If you kill somebody who breaks in your house, you can still be charged for murder, and people have been. It's ridiculous.
Oh, the communists here would definitely charge me if somebody broke into my house. I mean, I got signs up, I got dogs, I got barriers, but they would still come after me. There's no doubt about it in my mind. But I would rather face that than be a victim to some lunatic lefty who decided that my life isn't worth saying, or that my life should be taken because I said something mean or I said something that insulted them. I don't give a rat's ass if I insult you anymore. If I'm saying something truthful, then it is what it is. And I'm tired of catering to their feelings and pretending like they say what they mean. Because as far as I'm concerned, and as far as what I've seen, as far as evidence, they use words and rhetoric as tools to complete their agenda. They have no relationship with the truth. They don't care if it has any relationship with the truth at all. They are just strictly tools to complete their agenda. What do the Marxists say? There's no truth but power, right? So the only way that they see truth in words is if it gets them power.
Yeah.
So truth to them actually doesn't matter. That's why nothing is sacred to them.
You're speaking it again, Maurice. The truth is what sets people free, and it scares the crap out of those feelings because it shines a light on it.
Here's the sad part. Here's the sad part. We're coming up on midterms. And this almost, I would think, would wake people up enough to see that the left can never be in power. They just can't be. They can never be allowed to be in power again. And if Charlie Kirk's life meant anything for any reason, guys, this has got to be a wake-up call. Maurice made that post earlier about the shot heard around the world and what it meant. And it hit home. It hit home because, you know, it's sad that it takes something like this for us to see, you know, how evil these people are. Their ideology is. And Charlie Kirk went in armed with words. And right. Like I said earlier, he never disrespected anyone. Open dialogue. If you can defend your idea, let's have a talk. And common sense usually won over, and he usually made them look foolish using the truth, disputing their circular logic about who's a woman and who's not, and they couldn't stand it. They don't like the truth. And what MSNBC did earlier, I don't know if you guys saw this, but this is so damn disgusting. And if this guy, screw just the guy, but the whole MSNBC roster, the whole station should be shut down behind this. Take a look.
Following up what was just said, he's been one of the most divisive, especially divisive younger figures in this, who is constantly sort of pushing this sort of hate speech or sort of aimed at certain groups. And I always go back to hateful thoughts lead to hateful words, which then lead to hateful action.
Hate. Yeah, we hate them, but they shoot us. If they want people to stop dying because of gun violence, why don't the damn Democrats stop shooting people? It's that simple. It's that simple. Look back over the last several years. It's all them.
Go down if we unarm the Democrats. Exactly. But I'm a 2A absolutionist. There is only two ways forward right now here in America. You can either succumb to their fears or you can push forward and continue the fight. I'm not going to back down, but there are some people that need to impasse here in this country. This cannot
turning point, if you will.
You broke up again. Say that again, Steve.
I'm just saying we're at an impasse. You have to choose one path. There is no middle ground anymore. You either side with these communists or you side with people that are ready to engage and speak truth, or even just have civil discourse. It's either civil discourse or civil something else. There's only two paths right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just seeing Charlie Kirk, like, this one hits so much harder than when President Trump was shot at. Not because, well, obviously because Charlie lost his life, but Trump, he goes after everybody, right? He's very vocal. Some people don't like his personality or whatever. Charlie was so different. He was very calm, cool, collected. The problem is he was very effective. He was effective with his messaging, you know, to other people. And a lot of people turned to Charlie because he was a voice of reason.
Very much so.
He was the middle right.
People hate that. They hate people that could be so calm and don't show much emotion behind truth.
He was the embodiment of, you want to know what it's like to be a Christian conservative and how to do it properly. He was the role model.
Yeah.
He was the role model. And you know, by none of us want a civil conflict in this country.
Correct.
We don't, because that means stepping outside your house and turning right and it's your neighbor. No one wants that. I've been in a position, I've been in places where that really was what it was, in close quarters, just call it what it is, with prison. And I've been in those riots and there's nowhere to run. You're just there, and people don't understand what it's really like when it's just you against the next guy. And that's what it would be. It would be a free for all. But here's the unfortunate turn of the other side of the coin. And I said it earlier, if we don't name our enemy, if we don't say that thing is the enemy, that thing is wrong, that thing is evil, and defeat it the same way they did with the Nazi ideology. If we don't do that and we keep on compromising with the left just because, it's just a different political opinion and all this kind of stuff, it's just going to continue. So at some point, people have to wake up and see this for what it is. It's just not a differing opinion. What was the total number? 417,421 total children. Ryan Matta, J.J. Carroll, and others who came up with, after working all of their leads, to find out how many children were trafficked under the Biden administration. It's a real number, folks. They were handing kids off to the transnational criminal organizations across this world. They were finding kids pictures on WhatsApp. And after the brother had showed up with the birth certificate to pick the kids up, GSA gave was given a $250 million contract from the federal government in order to do this. They were facilitating human trafficking knowingly, willingly. This is the left. This is who we're standing against. These are not just differing political opinions. They are evil in every single way. They're evil. And I don't know how we get rid of it without a fight. I just don't know. I think about it in my mind all the time. You know, what's the answer to the solution? But nothing in this whole country, in its whole history, civil rights movement, revolution, actual civil war, it doesn't matter at what point in history we've ever been at, in order for the country to move along and progress, it's always been on the other side of bloodshed. And I know we all want to avoid that.
Denise Townsend, she says here, when innocence is so blatantly attacked, it disturbs us at a much deeper level.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. Eddie, to piggyback on what you're saying, and Charlie today made it a prime example. And you've got to know. I mean, you've got to know. He went out on stage 2, 3, 4 times a week, many times, knowing that he was in a crossfire, possibly. But it's theoretical until it really happens. Now it's really happened. And here's what we need to understand. This is a spiritual war that's manifesting in the physical. And if you're going to stand up, and if you're going to be a soldier, and if you're going to be part of this, you need to understand that we are in a battle. And at some point, it could cost you something. It could cost you your life. Steve, you and I both have been in battle at some point in our life. And it's real. It's a real thing, my friend.
I'm looking at a verse right now. It says, truly, truly, I tell you,
Steve.
Unless, go ahead, Steve. I didn't know you were even.
No, I had a Truth Social notification that Trump was addressing the Charlie Kirk thing, but that was from a while back.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Hey,
but this
Glenn,
verse. Go ahead.
Glenn, to piggyback off what you were saying, as far as it being a spiritual battle, Charlie Kirk actually had a beautiful little talk about this. And so I would like to share this with you guys, because this is exactly what we need to strive for.
The spiritual battle is coming to the West, and the enemies are wokeism or Marxism combining with Islamism to go after what we call the American way of life. And the American way of life is very simple. I want to be able to get married, buy a home, have kids, allow them to ride their bike till the sun goes down, send them to a good school, have a low crime neighborhood, not to have my kid be taught the lesbian, gay, transgender garbage in their school, while also not having them have to hear the Muslim call to prayer 5 times a day. That's important. We want the American way of life, which is, by the way, Christendom. Christians, our sacrifice, our toil, our vision, the outgrowth of the scriptures gave us Western civilization. And this is where I think is a great rallying cry. Doesn't matter if you're Hispanic, doesn't matter if you're Asian, doesn't matter if you're black or white. Everybody, if you are Christian and Jesus Christ is your Lord and Savior, these two threats are combining forces to come after us. And it's time that the church stands and rises up against it.
Yep. That's right. That's right.
My God, he nailed that perfectly.
Yep.
Oh, unbelievable.
Some of the problem is, though, is some of the churches now are literally teaching the same things that we're fighting against.
We have to be the church.
That's right.
Brother, don't get it twisted. It's not some of the churches. It's most of the churches.
Yeah, I was being kind.
And you are being kind. The last 5 years ago, that was revealed when the COVID debacle came out, and 99% of the pastors shut their doors and didn't fight.
Yeah,
that proved right then and there they don't know what the hell faith is, because faith is not found in comfort; it's found in darkness. And if there's any possible good news that can come out of what happened today, faith is found in tragedy and darkness.
I disagree with that statement wholeheartedly.
Hold on, I brought it up so I could
not
talk
your
about
statement,
this.
Glenn.
No. So vet text here says the threat wasn't Muslims, it's Jews, and I would like to address this because Eddie and I have been working together for almost 2 years now, and we've investigated many. I would say cancellations or the destruction of Native American culture. And for the most part, it has been Muslims.
Yep. Talking about the Answer Coalition.
Yeah. If you underestimate your enemy, then, I mean, you will absolutely get overtaken. So, I mean, if you guys want us just to rant about the Jews here, it's not going to happen. I'm not saying that the state of Israel is completely innocent in all of this.
But no absolute statements will be accepted about a race. That's ridiculous.
I agree.
Yeah, I just think it's the radicals of all of them.
Correct.
That screw up everything for everybody. So there's the 1% of the people that control 99% of everything, and they screw everything up. And the 99% of the people are the ones that have to suffer for this. So there are radicals in every single religion out there. Do not kid yourself on this. And people will use religion to boost themselves whenever they're not even religious. They're Satanists. Yeah. So what people need to realize, like, it's not always about the Jews or the Muslims, because I've met good people from both. So let's be clear about that. The problem is people are going to use this to further divide us. It's a grift. It's a, what do you call it? A virtue signal. Like whenever the Jews are talking about the Muslims and Muslims are talking about the Jews, they're just further dividing the people. When people need to wake up, that is the globalists that are trying to do this to further divide people so they can control them better. I'm sorry. I don't think it's the Jews or the Muslims. I think it's everybody.
You know, I would like to also offer that the Bible gives us guidance in this, in saying that we are to take the narrow path. And that means that for the most part, a lot of people are going to get left behind. And when I initially set out on this X journey, on this social media journey, I had the naive idea that I was going to be able to unite a lot of this country. And I've come to the conclusion that is impossible.
No.
And it's
Fight's noble.
It can be noble, but you will also die trying. and fail miserably.
And you should, but you just should.
Taking the narrow path isn't going to be easy. It never will be. Because, I mean, I spoke about this in our last podcast, Steve, about how, so many people just ran out and bought the Switch 2. And it literally is one of the most evil corporations in the world because it has a grip on millennials and every generation before it. And people have this nostalgic idea that Nintendo is good because they think of their great times experiencing Mario Kart for the first time or Pokemon for the first time playing on their Game Boy in the 90s. And in all reality, Nintendo has disrupted innovation by suing every single company who ever slightly infringes on them. And now they produced a product where you will own nothing, but you'll be happy.
They cloud-based the games.
It is another step in the direction of this evil, demonic force that has been corrupting this country in erasing individualism, erasing rights, erasing the idea that we should have autonomy, that we should have some kind of privacy, that us as private citizens should have privacy. And I realized that I cannot convince everyone, and it must be me to take the narrow path. I must decide in my life to set an example, and hopefully others follow. That's what I have to do. I cannot save everybody. I am now, especially after Charlie Kirk being assassinated, I am writing off a substantial majority of this country because fuck them. They have decided, and now, you know what? They made their choice. Now it's time to lie in it. They made their bed. Now it's time to lie in it. My God.
The line in the sand has been drawn. And when Charlie Kirk, his life was taken from him by some damn maniac, and these people out here celebrating it, that's the line in the sand. It's like they're on that side, we're on this side, and they can't be here anymore. That's period. They just can't. Whatever has to happen for that to go away, for my grandson to be able to go outside and ride his bike, whatever has to happen for that to happen is got to take place. And I hope Donald Trump is in the same mindset, because we were talking about making DC safe and California and Chicago. Screw that, bro. Let the whole damn country loot. Let the National Guard go every single country. Clean the whole shit up all at once. Let's just clean it up. Clean it all the way up. And anyone who celebrated this, you remember what they did in Britain, right? When they found that there were certain people in their society that just weren't going to be productive members of their society. They weren't going to get along, or they were criminals and they would keep reoffending. They put them in Australia.
Oh, okay.
Right. So we need a new Australia.
Where was your head going on that one, Steve?
Well, we do. We need a new Australia.
Are you saying that we should become the fascists they said that we should, that we are?
Unfortunately, why not? They're going to call us that anyway. At the end of the day,
and they're going to kill you anyway.
The ends justify the means. That's their mentality. So if you live by the sword, you also die by the sword.
So we have. I think it's pretty clear there's no combining forces with the radical left or any kind of way to live with them.
No,
that's been established, right? The problem I'm having right now is the division in the conservative movement. You see this all the time online. There are people out there that are, calling other conservatives grifters, or they're just doing shady shit behind people's back, talking about, in my opinion, if you're a conservative, Republican, whatever you want to call it, constitutional conservative, and you're knocking other conservatives down, you're a traitor. From here on out, this is the point. Right now, what happened to Charlie, this should be everybody's mentality. You have to unite, because these communists, they don't care. They say blue line all the way down. They do not care. We have to combine. We might have differences within the conservative movement, but we have to stick together throughout this whole process. And I mean, someone, Lamb Not, the tribalism has to end. Yes, I know I hate tribalism. I think it's kind of stupid personally. But at the end of the day, we have a country that we still have to save. And the leftists want to burn it all the way down. So you're either with us, or are you against me? Sorry.
But it's like being in a duel with someone who has a gun on the other side, and then you put your gun down and say, "Guys, I don't want to fight anymore.
You have a microphone.
It's all good."
Like Charlie Kirk.
And they shoot you. That's exactly how the left would handle that. Guys, we don't
That's
no more
communism.
divisiveness. I'm gonna put my gun down and let's just be friends. Boom. And they win. That's it.
We can be peaceful, man, till the point comes where we can't be peaceful anymore.
And I think that happened today.
I hope it didn't happen today, Eddie, but I think you're close. We're a lot closer to it than we were yesterday.
We need to find out who the people are in our community who think and feel and believe the way that we do, and we need to band together, because it's only through that kind of community that we're going to have any safety, that we're ever going to have any progress moving forward. It was funny after the election when you saw that electoral map lit up like a Christmas bulb, that people started to understand that there are a lot more people out there who think like us than who don't. But the news had us convinced that our numbers were little and theirs were big. They would just brainwash people into believing. And we did all these stories. Rabbit and I did those stories on the phone box farms and found out how many of the political commentators out there on the left actually don't exist. They're just hundreds of thousands of bots that are out there making you think that their numbers are much larger than they are. If we all stepped outside of our house right now, all conservatives, just go out on your doorstep and then look to your left and right. If we all just stepped out at the same time, I guarantee you, most of your block, most of the people around you would be on their doorstep too.
Yeah, that's our neighborhood, brother.
We just got a comment saying Deuteronomy 32:35, which
Can you read the passage?
It's cited very, very often, but this King James version, it says, "Vengeance is mine, and recompense. Their foot shall slip in due time, for the day of their calamity is at hand, and the things to come hasten upon them." I believe that to be true in a sense, but there has to be something said for righteous vengeance. Mm-hmm. Or maybe not vengeance, but retribution. Mm-hmm. We have to be able to hold people accountable for their actions. And a lot of the people taking this country down and taking this country from look at the black community right now. I was called a white supremacist yesterday because I was calling on the patriots of this nation, the black American patriots of this nation, to help correct course for the black community itself, because apparently you're not allowed to talk about black Americans if you're not black.
Identity politics.
Yeah, that bullshit. And I'm tired of it, because in all reality, if we don't fix this, 70% of black American children grow up without fathers in the homes. That will literally destroy the black community in the next coming generations. And there's no way to fix that, because they will absolutely grow up in gang-riddled, drug-riddled communities, and they will be reckless. They will have no control over their emotions. Yeah. And if you and you guys have decided as black Americans that you have your own special culture that you want to cultivate, that nobody else is allowed to talk about it, well, then police your own damn people. And you need to start speaking out against it.
You know, I just saw Truth Matters comment say, no more turning the other cheek. Turning the other cheek doesn't mean turn your face and let them hit you on the other side. The reason why Jesus said that statement was because when you hit a slave or a woman in those days, you did it with your backhand. And it meant the person you were hitting was less than you. What he meant by turn the other cheek was treat me like an equal. Stand up. I'm the same as you. If you're going to hit me, you're going to hit me this way, not this way. And that's what that statement actually meant. You got to remember, the Bible was written for the culture that it was speaking to at the time. And a lot of those sayings that he was saying were culturally relevant to the time in which he was saying them. So when you really do those deep dives into those types of things, there's people that misuse those verses to make it think that Christians are supposed to just be quiet, sit in the corner, and never have anything to say. And that's not the case. If that were the case, the disciples would have lived to be ripe old men
They demonized the Crusades as if it wasn't a defensive war against Islam. Whenever you talk about Christianity and they talk about the violence of Christianity, they bring up the Crusades.
That was the Catholic Church.
What they don't understand is that it was a fight against Islam taking over the damn world. And I'm tired of I'm tired of people saying to me that as a Christian, whenever I speak harshly against someone, against evil, shine a light on evil, they're like, well, you should be a Christian and not say something like that's mean. Turn the other cheek. No.
I think that's how it's done,
I'm here to flip tables. I'm done with this.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Like
Christ made a whip, drove him out of the in front of the temple and flipped over the money changer tables. Yeah, he was turning the other cheek. He also called them, you brood of vipers, full of dead man's bones. And he was constantly arguing with them and in their face and correcting them.
Yeah, it wasn't on Twitter or social media. He was face to face calling them.
Yeah. Even when he said that I'm going to build my church and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. What people don't understand the connotation of that verse is he was standing in front of a place that they termed the gates of hell. It was a cave at the foot of Mount Sinai.
Yeah.
And those people would do like human sacrifices there and that sort of thing. And the reason why they called it the gates of hell is because they couldn't drop a plumb line long enough to hit the bottom. So they said it went all the way to hell. So he said that to the disciples in front of all of these cult members. They weren't private. He was making a declaration loud and in front of everybody, just like Charlie Kirk does or did continuously. And what this guy did when he took Charlie's life today was he created a bunch of baby Charlie Kirks. Because when one seed hits the ground, a tree grows in its place. And that's exactly what he just did. Because now I guarantee you it's on more than ever before. It is on.
Dude. Absolutely. There's so many people that are angry and the time is now. Like this, we're talking about turning the cheek or being silent, trying to be like, would they make Christians out to be like, oh, that's not very Christian-like of you. You know, why are you cursing? Why are you saying that? You know, there's only one thing you cannot say. There's only one curse word. Did you guys know?
Yeah, GD.
GD. Everything else you can say. So don't let them use that against you. If you're angry, you're right to be angry right now. If you want to speak out against it, do it. You know, I'm just tired of people saying like, oh, you can't be angry or you can't say this or say that.
Usually not Christians saying that, right? It's usually the people who aren't Christians telling other people who are.
Well, it's kind of
both. Be a Christian. Yeah.
You know, no one can tell you how to feel about this. No one can tell you can't be angry about this or sad or mourn it. Be you. Like, be the person in this fight. And, you know, Eddie, I think you're so spot on. We are Charlie Kirk now.
Yeah.
I think that's the message right there.
Charlie Kirk will live on. I promise you. Everything that he spoke and fought for and everything he stood for, that mantle will be taken up by every single person. And the people who didn't take it as seriously before, you just created a bunch of activists who I guarantee you for every one time he sat on a college, because I'm thinking about going down to UNLV right now. I thought about it on the way home. I'm like, I never considered doing it before, but now I want to do it. And I think the colleges are probably going to take a different approach to this now and not let as many Ben Shapiros and that sort of thing, because they're going to say, well, we can't guarantee your safety. And it's just a way to silence the dissent.
They've been doing that for years and years, though.
Hey, I want to tell Oracle I agree with him. I think Jesus was pissed off, too. And I can tell you, I've been talked to by Christians about the title of my movie. So I'm a pissed off American soldier. I think Jesus was a pissed off Messiah.
It's righteous anger, brother.
He was a revolutionist. And that's the truth. I mean, if you look at the body of the things he did when he was on this earth, he was very much a revolutionary. I mean, he went
what's funny?
Across the whole political sphere and said everything you believe is wrong.
Don't get weak and meek twisted.
Yeah.
Those two words, don't get meek and weak twisted. Meek is not weak. Meek is strength under control.
You guys were doing a show the other night, and I sent something to you, but it was at the tail end of your podcast, and you guys were talking about this, but I think I sent it to you afterwards. But this was this is when they can't beat religion, so they become or try to take over the religion. And that's what they've done with the trans movement, the non-binary movement, all of that. They infected the UMC church, the Lutheran church, and then with the last pope, he started becoming even very much more liberal toward that community. And this is what happens when you crack the door to the devil. This right here.
And let us confess our faith today in the words of the Sparkle Creed. I believe in the non-binary God, whose pronouns are plural. I believe in Jesus Christ, their child, who wore a fabulous tunic and had 2 dads.
I can't listen any more of that trash. But that's what happens when Christians stay silent. Right? This is what happens when we stop speaking or we crack the door just a little bit to compromise. The devil puts his whole foot in, and next thing you know, he's in your house. And that
goes back to feelings and validating your feelings, looking somewhere to make something fit to validate what you're feeling, whether it's right or wrong. That's disgusting. Eddie, I got to sleep tonight. I actually had to hear that.
Yeah, well, it's what happens when people start creating God in their image instead of the other way around.
I want you guys to understand that when Jesus called for revolution, he wasn't talking about revolt. The left right now, when they are doing these random acts of violence, that is revolt. It's a chaotic force taken out on random perceived enemies. That's why Christian schools get targeted. That's why the CEO of some healthcare insurance company got targeted. That's why Trump was almost shot, is because it is a chaotic force. Revolt is not the way, because it is just chaos. Jesus wanted a revolution. The most powerful, they say that the pen is mightier than the sword, but that only holds true when what you speak aligns with the truth, when you're conveying a truthful idea, something true that resonates not just with the truth of the universe, but the truth of to everybody else around you. It can bring out a force so powerful that guns, knives, or nukes can't stop it. That's what Jesus Christ was talking about. He wants to revolutionize the spirits of the people themselves. And so when we talk about revolution, we're not saying go out and revolt randomly in a chaotic fashion. We are saying that it is now time to stand up, learn how to say no, embolden your spirit, put on the full armor of God, and stop compromising with demons. Because a lot of these people, a lot of our politicians are demons. And you can see it in that video that we showed you earlier in Congress when everybody was okay with a moment of silence, but as soon as prayer is brought up, they revolt.
Yeah.
Brother,
trans equals evil. And you need to be able to say that.
Maurice, you're so right. And I want to say something. It's going to be a little controversial, but Charlie
We're not
Kirk,
very controversial in here.
I know. Charlie Kirk was not neutralized today. Charlie Kirk went home to be with Jesus, but he was not neutralized today. Charlie Kirk was multiplied 1,000-fold. Charlie Kirk is alive and well in the American spirit now. And in a lot of places, maybe just woke up because it just became real, y'all. It just became real.
Yeah. As I said, there's going to be a bunch of new Charlie Kirks out here now. A bunch of them. He went around my college campus.
I said it more eloquently, though.
Yeah, you did. You said it more eloquently. You said it a lot more eloquently, but I think that it's not going to shut us up. It's going to embolden us.
Absolutely.
And the one thing that we can all say now, the religious stuff aside, as far as Islam, Christianity, all that, trans is evil. It's that simple. there is they say correlation and causation don't make, yes, they do. Look at the last several school shootings. You brought up the thing just now about the deal in Nashville. The one where Kamala Harris goes down, they expelled the 3 people, the Tennessee 3. And after the Aubrey girl went into the Nashville school, shot
Aubrey
up the
Hale.
school, Aubrey Hale, she wrote this manifesto, which we still haven't seen the whole thing. Still haven't released the Transfesto. And Kamala Harris goes down to Tennessee to argue for the 3 people who were expelled. She was there. While there, only used that time that she was there to race bait. She didn't go see the parents of the children or to the faculty members who died. She didn't give a damn. She only went there to race bait and that sort of thing. That is the left. So the one thing that I can say, what comes out of today is no more middle of the road shit for trans people. There is definitely a correlation between mass shootings and what's going on in the trans community. And people who are unwilling to say that, you're just chicken shit, dude. I'm sorry. There just is something wrong, and it needs to be addressed. I said that to NBC. Remember when I went on Discord after the school shooting about 6 months ago? As soon as I went on there, I saw that where the school shooting happened. So I went to the school. They had a chat room. So I went into the chat room. The kids were already saying the individual's name. I said, let me go to the social media pages before they scrub them. So I found out the person had a Discord, a Facebook, a Twitter, and I grabbed all the content that I could real quick. And I put it up before the news did. I was the first one to put it up to prove that the person was either non-binary, trans, or some part of that community. The posts were evident.
Right.
NBC contacted me and they wanted me to do an interview, but after talking to me on the phone, they decided not to do the interview because they would not address the correlation between school shootings and the trans community.
Of course.
I'm
get that
sorry
DM?
that this is so small, you guys, but the other day, this guy Gene, he said, "Why the f are you people so afraid of gender identity, the LGBTQAI community, minorities, and people whom aren't you think they should be? They don't affect your personal life. Just mind your own GD business. If they don't hinder your lifestyle and the comforts you pay for, just mind your own GD business. If you're not raising and supporting that family's child, just mind your own GD business. For the record, no." This particular issue has not been ruled on by the courts. So he was addressing somebody else. But I decided, oh no, it left. Where'd it go? I decided to respond to him. And I believe that this is important. Because this is how I see transgenderism. And no, I don't have transphobia. Because I'm not afraid of them. I fear only for the innocent children that are being indoctrinated into this culty religion. The innocent kids who will be sterilized through hormonal experimentation before they can even vote or buy an energy drink. The innocent children having their genitals cut off before they even reach adulthood. The innocent children who are mentally scarred from the pornographic exposure they received at a young age. We know how porn affects adults. In children, it has lifelong implications. I fear for the innocent children getting groomed and molested by predators who use the LGBTQ community as a shield to perpetrate their diabolical intentions on minors. I fear once those children grow up, sterilized with brittle bones and all sorts of medical issues, they will one day look in the mirror and realize that they were lied to. Their sex never changed, and it never will change, and the permanent changes made on their body by adults when they were minors are irreversible. Hatred and resentment will brew their SSRI-riddled minds as they get smiles and compliments of fake affirmation how pretty they are as the other gender. They will inevitably come to the conclusion that everyone has been lying to them and everyone must pay. That's how you make killers. This is how you break the mind, body, and spirit of an innocent child. Promise them a beautiful life of the opposite sex, the mystical fantasies of what can be, only to irreversibly destroy every part of their ability to become who they could have been. If only they'd nourish their body and mind with good food and truth, knowing that they were created in God's image, born male to be a great man or born female to grow into a beautiful woman.
Preach, brother. That was awesome.
That transgenderism is inherently anti-God because they reject that they were made in God's image. They believe that God put them in the wrong body and that man can fix it. Even though there has never been one successful sex change in human history. There's not been one. There's never been a male converted to female or female converted to male. It has never happened. It will never happen. It is a lie. Stop lying to our kids. Stop mutilating our kids because it turns them into killers. It makes them resentful towards everything that is good in this world. And I'm tired of it.
Got some breaking news. Remember that piece of human garbage, Matthew Dowd, that blamed Charlie Kirk on himself? Or he died because of himself?
Go on.
You played the clip earlier. He no longer works for MSNBC.
Good.
This is per variety, so take that with a grain of salt. But I think hopefully this is a thing to come because the mainstream media has fed so many lies and so much division for so long. Man, I don't even know why people turn that garbage on anymore. All it is just rhetoric, right wing or left wing. There's no truth anymore. Have you guys watched like CNN like back in the day? Well, probably Glenn.
When you say back in the day, like prior to Obama changing the Smith.
I would say probably Glenn, because Glenn, you're like 65, something like that.
I know where you live in Texas, baby.
He's 64.
You know, CNN was about the only news station that was just news when it first came on. And so, yeah, everybody watched it. I quit watching the news 23 years ago. Any news. I don't watch it on TV at all. It was for a different reason, because I didn't want the negativity going into my head. And every story is sensationalized. It's the storm of the century. It was the most colossal wreck. And so I took that away. And so I haven't watched the news in a long time. But you are 100% right. And why do they do that? It goes back to what Uncle Glenn was saying a while ago. They feed people's feelings.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I can completely see that. But I tell you this much, and it's what the whole takeaway of the day is. Charlie Kirk is truly, though he's not with us anymore, he's not dead. He never will die. Many more Charlie Kirks will pop up in his place. And the movement he started and the legacy that he left will live on. And it's never going to be stopped. And I just say this to the people on the right who are as angry as we are. Because earlier today, if somebody would have crossed my path with a grin or a smirk, about this, I probably would have went back to prison. But don't besmirch the guy's name. Remember what he stood for. Remember what he fought for. Remember how he lived his life and what he was doing, and pick up where he left off. Let's just do that. Let's just pick up where the guy left off, and let's just make sure his name is never forgotten.
We're gonna miss him physically, but we're not going to miss him mentally, because he is gonna be with us. And I see a true fire that's been lit on so many Americans now, and we're not gonna let this go. This is it. We've had enough.
If I could make a closing statement, my phone is blowing up, so I'm going to have to jump. Charlie Kirk wasn't MAGA, primarily. Charlie Kirk wasn't even right, primarily. Charlie Kirk stood up publicly and loudly for Jesus Christ and for the Father. And that all kind of leans that direction. It points us in the right. Charlie Kirk was a man of faith that had a lot to say, and he knew every time he walked out on that stage, there was a possibility it might be the last time. As a warrior, Steve, I know you know this. We know this here, but we don't think about it because we got a battle to fight. He was fighting till his last breath. And boys, if I got to go out, I want to go out fighting until my last breath.
Yeah.
So God bless Charlie Kirk. God bless his family, his kids, and God bless those that are so pissed off right now. Go be pissed off for a minute. Go do that. But then seek the Father and find out what he wants you to do. Because he got a plan for your life too. And guys, I appreciate you including me in your show tonight because, man, first time in my whole life, I was physically affected by somebody being assassinated. Thank you for letting me have a part of it.
You touched a lot of people's lives, brother.
Yeah.
Touched a lot of people's lives. Let's remember some of the better things about the guy. I got a little video of him walking with his daughter.
Gigi, don't just get to get everything you want. Okay. Well, you have to be on very good behavior to get such a thing like this. Okay? Hold on. You have to behave well.
Did you earn it?
I know, but what did you do for it? Have you been a good girl? Okay, I'll get it for you.
Unbelievable that they would target him like that. I have a hard time processing that he's actually gone, that he is no longer with us, because this has been it's been a really odd day. And if I could share anything with you guys as we close this out, is that with your family tonight and for the foreseeable future, make sure you hug them just a little bit longer. Make sure you kiss them goodbye, kiss them hello, because you never know when that last time is going to happen. So tonight, go spend valuable time with your family. Pray to our Heavenly Father for guidance and peace of mind, and understand that this spiritual battle has been going on for a lot longer than we can understand. But you have a role in this, and if you don't know what that role is, pray and ask, because God does have a plan for you, and you are important, and so is your family. Give them long hugs, give them lots of kisses, and make sure that you remember every single moment from here on out, because it might be the last, and you never know when it's going to happen. So just keep that as a reminder. God bless you guys. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Yeah. Before we close, I just want to say I'd be remiss. Thank you to Q. Thank you to Quitter for, sponsoring what we do. For those guys out there who watch these guys, myself or anybody on this network, know we are, we're listed right there with Fox and the rest of them. And that's only due to the support that we get from the people who allow us to do it. And that's you. And in the description depending on if you're on YouTube or even Rumble, doesn't matter, you'll see the link right there that you can use, that you can go get Q Broadcasting, and the Patriots Prayer Network is listed right there. If you want to support what we do, if you want to support us telling the truth, if you want to support and help us grow. Charlie Kirk's movement started off small, very small, and it grew very quickly because of his messaging. And, he was inspiring, and he definitely will inspire a lot more people than I think he ever realized. But guys, go click that link, go sign up for Q. It is the only
Q Broadcasting.
Q Broadcasting, CUE. Okay, not Q. CUE Broadcasting, and help support us in our fight to continue our message and get the truth out. I'm going to put a little QR code up there in the corner. You guys would scan that. It's $59 a month. You don't have to pay $200-$300 a month for TV anymore. You get all the NFL stuff. You get all of the movie channels, everything. You get everything you currently have, plus all the same things you're streaming on Hulu, on Netflix. All those shows, they're on there. They're all there. One price, one time, and you get all of that, plus people that are not afraid to speak their minds. And you'll help us continue to grow and everyone on the network. So if you wouldn't mind, help us get where we want to be. And we appreciate you. Anything you want to say, Steve?
Man, I'm just having one of those moments. That last video with Charlie and his little girl just really kind of made things real, right? There's a lot of hatred that is spewed online on a daily basis, and just to see that just kind of really sunk in how real this fight is. So, like Maurice was saying, you know, the people that are in your life, love them, right? Because you never do know whenever your time is up. So I do feel emboldened, and I'm ready to dig my heels even deeper into this fight. And anybody that's watching this tonight, your voice matters. You can have 1 follower or 1 million followers. It does not matter. Your voice is important to this movement. So do not stop. If you feel that fight, continue, because we need everyone on deck on this. And if you're extremely angry online, do something about it too. You can get out there. You can change impact in your local elections. You can get involved in grassroots organizations. You can make an impact, because if you think you don't make an impact, then you already lost.
That's right.
So get motivated. Use this fuel to motivate you. And that's all I have.
Yeah, that's right. Remember the people you have in your life while you have them, and appreciate them while they're here. And that's it. Yes, that is right. CUEbroadcast.com. But if you wouldn't mind, go to the link that we post. That way we get credit for it, or use the QR code Maurice is pointing to. They are going to be raising their prices to $69 a month in October.
Nice.
But if you get in right now, you're going to be stuck. You're going to have that $59 for life. I just interviewed David the other day, the guy who owns the network. And so if you get in there right now, you get $59 for life. And you get all of the extras, everything you're paying the extra money for right now. You don't have to worry about none of that. Very simple. You have it on up to 5 devices at once. So go check those guys out. They're awesome. The only free speech network in the whole country. That's it. They're the only ones. Plus we're there. So
hug your family. Pray to the Lord.
Yep, that's right. And should I say the silent majority? You need to stop being silent and stand your ground, because evil will never retreat willingly. It must always be beaten back. Guys, have a great night. Thanks you for joining us.
My people of this country, and we're under attack. They banning us, they cancel us for speaking the facts. If you man enough.
This is the Patriots Prayer Podcast. It's a tremendous show, one of the greatest shows in the history of the world.
This is Bryson Gray, and you are watching the Patriots Prayer.
PPN, you're doing the right thing.
On the Patriots Prayer Network. Thank you all.
PPN on your bumper.
I'm Tom McDonald. This is the Patriot Prayers Network. Check it out. Lots of good TV. Lots of cool people. Tune in. Keep it locked.
Know where I stand. I'm the white boy with the middle fingers in the air, dog. We don't give a what. 100 white boys gonna hold me down anywhere, dog. We think that you suck. My patriots the craziest. They ain't afraid of breaking fists on faces. If you really wanna taste of this, no safety tip. The same mistake and spray the clip. I pray you miss, cause if you don't, they gon' go wacko. Automatic gun smoke like tobacco. Never hit a lady, but it's pretty hard to tell if you're a girl or a they, them. There's these, that, those. I ain't never gonna take a knee for the anthem. Smack them. I don't give a damn, can't stand them. Gang full of randoms. Fan with a handgun. Run up in your mansion, leave it all abandoned. I was raised to be brave to the grave. United States, we love the country that they've been corrupting. Go woke and go broker if you ain't obeyed. My people of this country, and we're under attack. They banning us, they cancel us for speaking the facts. If you man enough, come stand with us, take USA back. And every time we pull up, all you're gonna see is America. wicked flag.